Welcome back to One on One with Mr. Yu. Of course, I am your host, Mr. Yu. In studio with us, William Plange. How you pronounce it? Plange?
Correct,
Right.
Plange.
Awesome. I said eight-time international best-selling author and the founder of No Human is Useless. William Plange is in the house, man. Thanks for joining us, William. How are you, brother? Good to see you, man.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So humble to be here on this platform. And yeah, it's good having me. I'm blessed.
Well, thank you, man. Thanks for being here, man. You got a busy schedule, so we're going to get into our conversation, man. Usually, I ask right from the outset, kind of describe your upbringing in your childhood. What was it like as a young person? How did you get from there to here? And then we'll start getting into some of your work, man. So go ahead and share with us your upbringing in your childhood, William. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So
Yeah, thank
I'm,
you.
I'm, I'm basically from Ghana, West Africa. And I grew up with my grandmom and my mom. My dad wasn't around. All right. So it was just my mom. And my grandmom had a drinking spot where they sell alcoholic beverages. Right. So at a tender age, I go to school, I come back, I sell alcohol, I go to bed,
Wow.
I wake up morning, go up. Yes, that was a daily routine. And I felt I came from a rich family, because if I want biscuits, my grandmother gives to me. If I want petty stuff, they provided. So I thought I came from a wealthy home, but I was living in a wooden structure, a kiosk, you know. But I didn't know all those things because of what they were giving me anytime I asked. But reality crept in when I grew up to know that, oh, okay, so I wasn't from that wealthy home that I used to think of. So my journey began from, in the society where I grew up from, we were told that when you go to school and you pass your exams and you're first in class, automatically your life is going to be beautiful because you're going to get a good job and you get to buy anything you want to buy, you're going to get married and all of that. Those were the thoughts that were given as well to our childhood, in our childhood days, sorry. So I also grew up with that same mentality. So I was very good in school. I completed school only for me to realize that the myth that they gave to us while we were growing up was totally wrong because I was
Mm.
struggling. There was no job for me. There was no job for me, as they said. So I was struggling, but I end up getting these kind of jobs that you end up using your salaries as transportation back to work. So at the end of the
Oh,
day, at the end, there's nothing to save, and you go back to zero. Sometimes you are in debt. You need to borrow money to go back to work, and when your salary comes, you pay your debt, and then you borrow again. So it was that's how it was. And I was really struggling that time. But my friends, I see my friends who I was way better than in class. They had landed good jobs. They are living their life. They bought their cars, and it looked as if what we were told in the from our childhood, it was working for them. But they were not good in class as me. They were like bottom of the class when we take
oh,
our
wow.
exams and all of that. Yes. So anytime I saw them, I felt lagging. I wasn't feeling comfortable because I'm not a lazy guy. I'm not a dumb person. I'm very smart, but then opportunities are not there for me. So one day, me and my friends, we met, we were having a chit chat, and one of them passed the comment to me that, hey, William, get a life. We are all moving. And that really broke me. To him, he was just
Oh,
making a
wow.
statement. Yes, it really broke me because it wasn't as if I was a lazy person. I was trying my making efforts, but then it wasn't working. But he, being fortunate to have a good job, buy a car, and all of that, made that statement to me that, hey, William, get a life because we are all moving. And it really broke me. And in the same society I grew up from, and I know it's almost everywhere in the world. Men have been programmed not to talk about depression. If you're a man and you're talking about that, they see it as a sign of weakness. They leave that for the woman and all of that. So that same
Right.
society I grew up in, and I couldn't share what was was killing me inside. I was really down, but there was nobody to talk to because I'm a
Mm.
man. Secondly, my community wouldn't understand. They don't understand that thing called depression. They feel just a normal thing because we are brought up to be tough. And so when something is eaten now, they expect you to face it as a man, as you were brought up. So nobody was listening to me. My family barely noticed me and all of that. So I decided to take a bold decision to move from the city so I
Hmm.
could move away from all this noise and go somewhere that these people don't even get to see me. So I ended up living in the forest. People say,
You lived in a
why
forest. Know what you said?
in the forest? In the forest, yes,
Wow.
in the
Okay.
forest.
Okay.
People ask me why of so many places, why the forest? All right. At that time, I couldn't think straight because I wanted to move far away from these people, my friends who were mocking me, family who barely noticed me. And all that came to mind was a small family that I know who lived in the village, actually in the forest. All right. They had a village inside the forest where they lived. So I just called them and say, hey, I want to come spend some time with you. And they said, oh, come on, come over. So I get on a night bus and I journeyed to the village. All right. And I went there, no electricity, no good drinking water. We're drinking from a stream that looked green in color. And
Wow.
every living thing drank from that same water. And
Oh
that was the only
wow.
option. Yes, that was the only option we had. So, it was very tough from the beginning because I'm not exposed to that kind of life. Living in the forest, somebody who was born and bred in the city, in a big city, now in the forest, electricity was very tough. But after a week, I realized that I felt calmness. The city was so noisy, but now it wasn't like that. I didn't care about not having a job. I wake up so happy, so excited within me, and there was no change. There was even the forest was more uncomfortable, but then inside of me, I felt so peaceful. I felt like
Hmm.
all the burdens, all the burdens are gone all of a sudden. So I had love in the forest. All right. Now there's one
You got
thing
to help me
in the
understand this, man. Why did you choose?
yes.
Why did you choose to live in the forest? You could have moved away from home and done a lot of different things. Why did you choose to live in the forest? Why was that the best option for you at that time?
So this question I get it most times, and honestly, at that time I wasn't thinking straight. Okay, I just
Okay.
wanted to move
Okay.
away, and who came to mind was that small family I knew in the forest. So I just called them. I said I want to be there. I had no apparent reason. My reason was just to move away, but you know there was nobody. That's the people I who came to mind at that point. So that's why I moved in there, right? So fast forward in the forest, I was just living my life. We walk like 5 hours into the deep farms every day to get food stuff. We carry it on our head, very heavy. We walk back 5 hours. We prepare food. We eat.
Oh
Then
my goodness.
that was a daily routine. Now I'm somebody who loves to pray. I'm very spiritual. I love to meditate. I love to pray. And one day I went to sit under a tree and I was just talking to myself, God, am I going to live my life like this? Please talk to me. Is there anything to do and all of that? Just so while I was saying these words, I hear a whisper, a female voice whisper in my ear that, William, go back to the city and start a business called the Errand Boy. That is all I heard. Errand Boy.
Aaron
No
boy. Okay.
explanation. Errand Boy, yes, Errand Boy. No explanation to what kind of business to do. Just Errand Boy. That's all I heard. So 6 months down the line, I came back to the city with no idea of what to do with the errand boy, but I made somebody design a logo for me with my name, so Mr. Plange, all right, and it looked good. So I told her that you know what, add my slogan, the errand boy, and I want to use that. So do it, Mr. Plange, the errand boy, and she did it, and it was perfect. So I shared a post about it, and a friend of mine who saw it said, William, why the errand boy? That is so childish. You're a grown man. Why don't you
Mm.
use errand man? And, and
Aaron
I'm like,
man.
come on, you can't tell what to do. You don't know how, you don't even know how the errand boy came about. You just see it and say, why did I use errand man? And I just ignored him and focused on the errand boy because of the voice I heard while in the forest. All right. So I shared a post and I was like, if you're a busy scheduled person and you want somebody to pick your kids from school, to run errands for you, call on me. I'm the errand boy. That's all I said. And
Mm.
guess what? In 1 week, I get calls from judges, lawyers, bank managers, policemen, people who were busy scheduled people were calling me that, hey, William, I saw your post and can you pick up my kids from school? Can you do the laundries for me?
Wait
Can
a
you
minute.
buy the groceries for me?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I know some of the story about the errand boy. And wait a minute. You picking up their
Mhm.
kids from school too? I know about the groceries and stuff, but you picking up their children as well?
Yes, I was just doing everything that they were busy that they didn't have time to do it. I just wanted to do anything. So I was picking kids from
Wow.
school for them.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. So
Mm.
tell me this way, because
You
I
know,
mean,
because some of them they go to work. Yeah, because some of them they go to work, they close like 6 p.m. and school closes at
oh,
3 p.m. Right?
oh,
So the kids being in school from those hours, so I have to go pick them and bring them. Sometimes they have their grandmoms at home, but they are weak, they can't go to the school and do the pickup. So I go pick them, bring them home to their grandmoms, and that's it. That's my job ends there.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
No, that
so
makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Now you
yeah.
left a part of the story out that I want to talk about a little bit, because most of us
Mhm.
in 2020, our lives changed dramatically around the world. It wasn't just in the United States where I live, it was all around the world. Everything changed dramatically. People lost their jobs, people lost their lives, people were displaced and plunged into depression, trying to figure out what to do next. You were evicted by your grandmother, your own relative, during COVID. Can you share some of that story? What happened there?
Yes, yes. Yes. So first of all, I want to say COVID was a curse and was a blessing in disguise. All right. And I'm a living
All
proof
right.
of that. So when COVID came in, my grandmom, I still live with my grandmom. So my grandmom was broke. And one day she woke up and says, William, I'm broke. You need to leave this house. You are way over 18 years old. So I need to rent your room so I can make money for myself. So you need to leave this house.
Oh,
But I thought it was a joke because my grandmom occasionally used to say things like that, but then later we forget about it and we move on with our
oh
life.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I took it as a joke. Yes, I took it as a joke, only for me to step out, come back home, and my grandma had packed all my stuff outside the gate. That hey, William, leave this house.
She was serious this time. She was
And
serious. Okay. Okay.
yeah, this time was serious. Then the whole world came crashing on me because it was COVID and it was lockdown. All right, and I had no job. So I was wondering how I was going to feed, where I was going to live, and all of that. So my grandmom still insisted. People in the neighborhood came and they were like, "Don't do this to William. William is not a bad boy. He's a good boy." She didn't listen to anybody. All right. So
Hmm.
first, I was forced to move, and I went to get a small wooden structure, like a ghetto, where I had to go in like that. Just had to maneuver myself into the room, very small room, and very hot. So I dumped my stuff in there and I was just living there. And then I felt my life had come to an end. That was
Wow.
when I felt what depression really looked like. All right. So I was always praying, crying, and hungry. These three things. I go hungry, I wake up and pray, I cry, I sleep. Then one day I jumped on LinkedIn. Now when I jumped on
This is
LinkedIn,
crazy to me.
I shared the man, it's so horrible. And you know what? I have pictures to all the things I'm saying. So probably maybe I can put it in the comment section for people to look at it.
Yeah,
So
please, please.
yeah, I would. So I jumped on LinkedIn and I took a photo of me while in the forest. A very horrible picture of me holding cassava and some stuff. And somebody actually took that picture and his intention was to send the picture, circulate the picture among my friends in the city, so they get to see how horrible I was looking at that time, so they can make
Oh,
mockery
come
of me.
on.
So that's why
Oh,
he had
oh wow.
the picture. Yes, but he didn't know this picture was going to in 11 years was going to be something big. So I shared that picture willingly on LinkedIn and said sometimes we find our purpose in the most uncomfortable places. and I had to find my first business idea in the forest. And this is the picture I took while I was there. So I shared this post, and this man from the US saw it, and it was like, William, I think you have a beautiful story. I have a group in the US. If you want, I want to invite you so you can speak to them, because some of them are giving up because of COVID and all of that. I'm like, cool, I want to do it. So they set up a Zoom meeting, and me and about 50 businessmen and women, and I was telling them my story. Now, yes, now when I was telling them my story, I they really felt it, and they were like, William, if you've gone through all these things and you're still pushing, then we can also do better, because we have the money. We are just confused about the COVID and the situation that is going on. So we can do it. So I gave them hope that day. And I make these mugs. I call it the invisible mugs. Unfortunately, I don't have hot water now. But these mugs are black. Then I can put your image on it. You don't get to see it unless I pour hot water in it. So I made one of these mugs proud to the core. Yes, and I placed the image of the CEO on the mug. Now, after I shared my story, I told them that, hey, human beings are like these mugs. When you're not aware of your worth, when people see you as worthless, this is how you look like. But sometimes when we go through pain, so when I was saying pain and struggles, I was pouring the hot water. That signifies pain and struggles that we all go through in life. And I told them that this pain doesn't, yes, this pain doesn't mean we should commit suicide. It doesn't mean that that is the end of our life. It means that there's something beautiful hidden, and this pain needs to bring it out for the world to see. Now, when I was saying that the hot water triggered and the face was popping up slowly, and the CEO saw her face and she freaked out. She was like, wow, William. And I'm like, yeah, this is who we are. And so pain and struggles that we go through in life, depression, it means that there's something special in there that we are not paying attention to, but this pain has to come in so that we can bring it out. And guess what, Mr. Yu? I started shipping these mugs from Ghana to the US. They started buying from me because of my story. And that is where, yes, because I told them that if you have one of these mugs, it's going to serve as a reminder to you every morning when you're having your hot breakfast, that's something special inside of you that needs to come out for the world to see. And then boom, they were all buying from me. So I started making some cool cash while I was in the ghetto during COVID when my grandma had sacked me. All right. And I tell people that always thank the people who push you into uncomfortable spaces. People who do you wrong, always thank them, because if my grandmom hadn't sacked me from home, I wouldn't have got this exposure to meeting these people in the US and now shipping marks to them and being a member of an international group and all of that. So my grandmom actually did good, but when she was doing that, we saw her as a bad person and all of that. So I tell people that, sometimes God can actually allow people to do this kind of harsh stuff to us so that God can bless us in disguise. And that was actually transformational for me. That was the beginning of my breakthroughs, because I had no intentions of becoming an author. But when I joined the group, anytime they were speaking, they talk about books. So one day I was just having a meditation, praying, and then I hear this spy again, this female voice says, William, this group, they are always talking about books. They love books. You have a story. Why don't you put your story in a book and call it No Human is Useless and sell to them? And that was when I began to write my book, No Human is Useless. And I started selling to them. Yes. The book is now, it's even now 9 times bestseller, because we just had a report from Germany. So Germany has become part of the best-selling. So it's now 9 times international.
Congrats! Congratulations, yes, brother! 9 times international bestseller. Congrats, man! That's so awesome, man.
Thank you.
We're almost out of time, so I want to try to get a few more questions in, man. But I definitely appreciate you being here. Of course, your book "No Human is Useless" is on Amazon right now. Of course, you can go, if you guys are watching, listening to this episode, you can go to William's website, nohumanisyuseless.com/shop. If you want to see some of the merchandise that he has there, definitely check it out. I'll try to remember that again at the end of the episode. But I want to ask you, a couple of things really, but well, actually a few things. Hopefully, you have enough time to get them all three of my questions in. But what was it? Do you think was a turning point that caused you to say, you know what, I want to start this nonprofit called No Human is Useless? What do you think was the single reason why you thought it was the right time to launch that nonprofit?
Mm. Thank you very much for the question. So, when I was enjoying the accolades, my books, and speaking to the people, I realized that people in Ghana, people like me, were going through the same challenges. It was like a chain. They complete school and there was
Mm.
no job, and they have problem
Oh,
getting a job. And some of them, I heard suicide stories of people who ended their life because things were not going on well for them. All right. So that was the turning point for me that I said, no, I need to start this movement and share my story so it can give them encouragement. Right. So that is when me seeing people going through the same things I went through and some ending up committing suicide
no.
compelled me to start this movement. No human is useless. So I started going to schools, going to functions, tell them my story, and I have pictures to all the horrible things I went through. And so they get to feel the emotions. They believe it that yes, that's actually me. It's not like I'm reading something to them. I show them pictures of all my struggles. And so the turning point was me seeing people and hearing stories of people committing suicide because they were depressed and things were not moving on for them.
Wow. That's so it's a messed up story, man. But no, I totally get why you're doing what you're doing, man. You kind of help folks rediscover their worth and sound like you're making an impact, man. Just a couple more questions for you. I think we should be good to go. You and I talked offline about your desire to have an annual conference. I thought it was kind of crazy because conferences are so much work, such a massive effort, and take so much money.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to start this, man?
Yeah. So this year, January, I was busily looking for paid speaking gigs to share my story on stages internationally. And I knew people who could have made it happen. So I just sent them messages that, yeah, I want to do this. They were all telling me down. They were all saying, no, William, not this time. No, we can't help you now and all of that. So it was eating me up. Then one day, same voice, I was praying, same voice came back. William, you're looking for a paid speaking gig. You are getting a no for an answer. You have an amazing story. Why don't you create your own event so you can get to be on stage and speak as long as you want? And that's when the idea came for hosting the No Human is Useless annual conference this September. And trust me, when I had this
Congratulations,
idea,
brother.
I had
Wow.
yeah, thank you. I had nothing. I had nothing to make it work. But I spoke to some few good people, designed my flyers, and we had some people donating little monies, $10, $50. Somebody gave me $1,000, and so far so good. We've been able to secure a 2,500 seater capacity auditorium in Ghana. I've got speakers coming in from flying into Ghana from Switzerland, from the UK, all because of No Human is Useless event, all because of me. And it feels like a blessing. So sometimes I tell people that don't always wait for opportunities. Create it. Sometimes you are meant to create it,
That's awesome.
as I have done. And today, yes, in September, we are having it 21st September 2025 in Ghana. And if anybody wants to support us, they can go on our website, hit the donate button, put any amount in there to at least support people who needs to hear these stories in Ghana to come and listen to transformational messages.
That is
Thank you.
awesome, man. People in Ghana, they're going to be, some of them are going to be shocked. Like, this is William. Remember him? He's living in the forest. Now he has an annual conference now. So I'm proud of you, man. This is pretty awesome, man. Just two more questions, and then we can go ahead and end our broadcast for today. What's the biggest message you want people to get about your nonprofit that No Human is Useless? What's the biggest message you want people to understand about why you're doing what you're doing? I know you're going to share from your stage in Ghana in a couple of months, but what's the biggest message you want people to get from what you're trying to
Mm,
accomplish?
mm. So the message is simple that depression is here to stay with us. We can't do away with it. It is part of life, right? But there is a way around it. Depression shouldn't be the source of you committing suicide. When depression attacks you, to me, it feels like it's a good sign that there's something good you're not paying attention to. All right. So people like me are living with fighting silent battles they can't talk about. And I am trying to let them know that it is okay to share what you're going through. Because when you share it, you've solved almost half of the problem. So depression is always here to say that, but it is not a cause for us to commit suicide. So my message is very simple, that these silent battles, they are always going to come to us in different forms, but we shouldn't allow it to make us commit suicide. So it's all about preventing people from committing suicide and helping them build emotional resilience and also find their purpose.
Love it. I love it. All right. My final question for today. All of our guests get asked this question. We call it the CMV question: career, mission, and vocation. So right now, William, as an exercise, everything that you've done up to this point, that means errand boy, that means writing your books, doing the conferences, public speaking, all those things are off of the table. What do you believe you'll be doing most likely if you weren't doing any of these things that you're doing today or you have done before? What would you be doing most likely, William?
Yeah, so what I'll be doing is I want to spread this message across the whole world. So I'll be moving from one country to the other country to spread this message: no human is useless, because this depression thing is killing people all around the world.
Let me stop you. This question is everything that you haven't done before. Out of all those things that are not available. Yeah. So what would you be doing if you weren't doing the things you're doing right now? What do you think you'd be doing with your life? Career-wise, mission-wise, or vocation? Whether it's a job, a career, what do you think you'd be doing?
So if I wasn't doing this, I would probably be a footballer.
A who? A footballer?
No, I would be a footballer.
Really? Were you really good at it?
Yeah. I'm a very good footballer. Yes.
Oh, I love this.
I can still play now.
You can still play now?
I can still play now.
Why don't you?
Yes.
Why don't you play?
Because I feel my purpose is rather no human is useless and focus on more on that. The football is just my hobby right now. Yeah.
It's a hobby? No, I love that. I love that. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting. I know it's still popular in your country still, so that's pretty cool, man. It's good, man. Well, I love that you were on here today, man. I love to get a chance to hear about what you're saying with No Human is Useless. Of course, if you guys are watching and listening to the episode today, William's website, nohumanisyouseless.com. Of course, you can go to the /shop. Check out any of the merch that he has there. I don't know if are the cups on your website as well, William? Or those are custom made?
No, not now.
Not yet? Okay.
No. Yeah, it's custom made. You need to it's custom made.
Okay. And of course, you can always donate to William's nonprofit, because it's a nonprofit. So donations are really important to nonprofits. I have one too, so I totally understand this. No Human is Useless is the name of their nonprofit. And of course, his book by the same name, No Human is Useless, is on Amazon. So you can find William's work there. I would love for you to send those pictures in the comment section so people can kind of see what you were highlighting today. It'll be a really, really dramatic picture to share those. So thank you for doing that, man. Any closing words or any thoughts for our viewers and listeners that are watching this episode with you today? You want to share anything with everybody?
So all I have to say to viewers, people watching us, is that regardless of where you find yourself, you're never useless. You have something inside of you that needs to come out for the world to see. And God gave it to everybody. So you are never useless or worthless. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for being on here, man. I definitely appreciate it. For all our viewers and listeners, of course, you can find William's work at nohumanisyouseless.com. If you want to reach out to me, all of our socials, really quick way to get there, one-stop shop. They call me Mr. Yu.buzzsprout.com. You can get all my social media there. Hit me up with a DM, any questions, any coaching needs, anything you may need from me. Love to hear from you guys. They call me Mr. Yu.buzzsprout.com. But William and Mr. Yu, we're out of here. Thanks again for watching and for listening to